As the mad squad retreats, Andrew is out of breath. He thinks to himself, I've been sprinting non-stop from the start until now. Moving through the mountains at this speed, he feels like he could pass out at any moment. Every step feels heavier than the last. His chest burns, and his lungs scream for air. He figured Rem would be fine, but he didn't expect cries to hold up that well either. He is also surprised by Incrid. When Andrew first met Incrid, he wasn't that strong. At least not compared to now. Andrew was just another young warrior, struggling to keep up with the madness of the battlefield. He wondered how on earth did Incrid grow this much? What kind of training, what kind of resolve, what kind of experiences hardened him to this degree? At this point, Andrew was almost completely out of breath, right on the verge of passing out. His legs wobbled, his vision blurred for a moment, and he thought he might collapse on the rocky ground. But then he steeled his resolve, gritted his teeth, and started sprinting again. Determined, he wants to do more, push further, prove he can keep going no matter what. The thought of falling behind fills him with frustration, so he forces his body to obey even when his mind screams to stop. Looking at Andrew, Mac is very surprised. After first meeting Andrew as the son of his friends, the Gardner family, Mac took care of him in his friend's place when the family fell and Mac's dear friend died. To Mac, Andrew was once a child, fragile and confused, stumbling through a cruel world. Yet now, the one who seemed like a child has somehow become a man. Looking at his back, Mac can feel something approaching. It is not just determination, not just spirit. It feels like the rebuilding of the Gardner family itself is beginning to take shape through Andrew's growth. While walking, Incrid tells Rim he has figured out the principle behind that charge. His tone is calm but filled with conviction. With an air of excitement, as if he had just solved a riddle, he declared the answer lay in the heart of brute strength. Rim had strengthened his leg muscles to achieve explosive thrust, and that was the essence of the technique. Hearing this, Rim smiled faintly and said, "Look at this. If one thinks they know the answer, why ask? Don't waste time with words. Now that you know, you should do it yourself." He told Incrid this firmly, almost as a challenge. Incrid nodded, affirming he would definitely try it himself. Finn suddenly told everyone to stop and look down. Beneath them lay a stronghold on flat ground between cliffs. If the rear was blocked, the escape route would be sealed. It was truly a terrain made for an ambush. Incrid narrowed his eyes and said it was a trap. Price spoke up, his voice calm but heavy with experience. Price explains that setting such a blatant trap is actually meant to make them avoid it. The enemy's true intention is to guide their path and kill them once they are cornered, which means the Hawk's Talon will appear soon. However, as Kreis finishes speaking, he looks at his squad and sees their reckless calmness and lack of fear. He wonders if these madmen, who never approach things like normal soldiers, are even listening. Incrid turns to his squad and asks if they should play along with the enemy's plan. Ragnar grins, his eyes glowing with bloodlust, and says it's annoying. They should just smash it. Incrid admits he is tempted to do the same. If the trap doesn't work, the Hawk will show up faster, which is exactly what they want. He declares that since the enemy force is large, they should all go together. Price asks if he should go too. Incrid shakes his head and says Kreis will fall back. He then orders Pin, Andrew, and Mac to guard him. The rest will charge. They all receive Incrid's order without hesitation. Then, with a wild, fearless spirit, all the madmen leap down the cliff like predators diving toward their prey. Down at the camp, the Grey Dog commander is deep in thought. He believes this is the last chance given to his unit. Their orders were clear: help an early guerrilla unit that is ransacking the rear camp by making Hawk's Talon hunt them. The Grey Dog is a renowned spin unit. No matter what happened before, to be reduced to merely supporting a single soldier is humiliating. The Grey Dog commander clenches his jaw so tight that his teeth grind. His pride screams inside him, but he knows this is the only way to rise again. They have to pull it off. To rise again, they must succeed, no matter the cost. At that moment, one of the Espen soldiers is suddenly alerted to the mad squad's approach. The soldier screams in panic, shouting that it's the guerrilla unit. This also surprises the Grey Dog commander. He wonders why. They must have noticed the trap. So why did they come? What kind of idiots are they? His confusion turns to fury as he suddenly notices Incrid leading the attack at the front. The Grey Dog commander's face twists. He grits his teeth and snarls. Incrid was part of that guerrilla unit, wasn't he? Incrid looks confused hearing the Grey Dog commander say that. He pauses for a moment, then points at the commander and asks Rim if he knows the guy. He seems to have a face I've seen before, Incrid says. Rim frowns and asks why Incrid is asking him that. He surely have a bad memory if you can't remember, Rim tells him. The Grey Dog Commander, his anger boiling, calls Incrid a cocky bastard. It doesn't matter if you don't remember, he seethes. Remember this, he spits. We will kill all the Mad Squad members here anyway. Then, with burning rage, the Grey Dog Commander unsheaths his sword, the steel gleaming in the firelight, ready to fight. His soldiers follow, raising their weapons with a roar. He points his blade at Incrid, and tells him he will be a stepping stone for the Grey Dog's future. Then the commander charges forward, but Incrid blocks his strike perfectly, his blade steady, his posture unshaken. The Grey Dog Commander's eyes widen. He recognizes Ingrid's sword. Incrid, staring straight into the commander's eyes, says that if he recognizes Mitch Hurrier's sword, then he must be the one who blocked the banner in the fog of slaughter. The Grey Dog Commander screams in anger, saying it doesn't matter, and strikes at Incrid again, telling him to die. But again, Incrid blocks the strike. Immediately after, Incrid fights back, his counterattack swift and precise, but the Grey Dog Commander barely manages to block the strike. Incrid thinks back to when they met before. Back then, the Grey Dog Commander was a strong enemy who he only managed to make flee. Incrid wonders, how would the Grey Dog Commander fare now? Wouldn't he be a good opponent to test the results of his training? The thought excites him, a spark igniting in his eyes. Then both Incrid and the Grey Dog Commander charge forward once more. Watching the duel, the other Grey Dog soldiers whisper among themselves. It seems like there's some grudge between them. Meanwhile, they decide they will smash the rest of the madmen. But to their shock, they see the Mad Squad completely ignoring them. The Mad Squad members stand still, their eyes locked on the duel, their focus absolute. To them, no other fight matters right now. The Grey Dog soldiers were infuriated. Feeling disrespected, one charged towards them with a club, roaring in anger. But Rim casually swung his axe and blocked the club with overwhelming force. The sound of the impact echoed like thunder. Rim smirked and told them to be quiet. We are focusing right now, he said coldly. The fight between Incrid and the Grey Dog Commander continued, the intensity rising with each clash. When the Grey Dog Commander was about to strike, Incrid immediately noticed the preparatory movement, reacted within 0.1 seconds and avoided the attack. With fluid motion, he countered and injured the commander's back. Watching this, Jackson calmly analyzed the situation. He said to himself, Incrid's reaction time is acceptable. That speed is a passing score. The Grey Dog Commander growled in pain but immediately came back for another attack, his rage fueling his strength. In that brief moment, Incrid unsheathed his other sword, drawing it with speed, and blocked the Grey Dog Commander's strike with both swords. Sparks scattered as the blades crashed. Seeing Incrid drawing the blade, and assuming a defensive stance at the same time, Ragna muttered with a grin that Incrid was learning how to make use of two swords. Despite blocking the Grey Dog Commander, Incrid was still pushed back. Watching this, Auden calmly observed and thought to himself that Incrid still didn't have enough strength to parry with one hand alone. He decided that next time in training, he would add another rock to increase the weight. The Grey Dog Commander sneered at Incrid's dual swords. He mocked him, saying he was a rookie just showing off. Then he charged forward again, his fury unending. At that moment, a fierce look appeared in Incrid's eyes. His breathing slowed for a moment, then steadied. Rim noticed it and got ready to intervene. Excited, they realized Incrid was about to use the heart of brute strength. Incrid's heart begins to pound like a war drone, his blood surging to grant him strength beyond human limits. With tremendous speed, Incrid charges toward the Grey Dog Commander. The commander's eyes widen in shock as Incrid's speed surpasses anything he could have expected. With terrifying strength, Incrid strikes. The Grey Dog Commander barely blocks the blow, nearly losing his grip on his sword. The impact is so powerful that the commander's blade begins to crack under the pressure. His eyes widen in horror. As the Grey Dog Commander struggles desperately to block Incrid's advance, Incrid suddenly thrusts his other sword straight at his throat. The blade pierces it without hesitation. Incrid pulls the sword free, and the Grey Dog Commander falls to the ground. Blood gushes from his throat, staining the dirt as his body twitches and then goes still. The other Grey Dog soldiers stare in disbelief. Their commander, the pride of their unit, was killed just like that. Rim throws his head back and laughs, his voice echoing across the battlefield. He exclaims that he knew it would be perfect when the captain used the heart of brute strength. His laughter is loud and wild, filled with delight. Auden nods with a rare smile, remarking, the Lord must also be pleased with his growth. Ragna smirks, saying, not bad at all. Jackson, as usual, agrees silently with only a slight nod. Rim looks at the rest of the Grey Dogs, calling them iron lumps and telling them to get over here right now. This terrifying laugh rings out again as he says he's so hyped he feels like slicing something up. And with that, the Mad Squad's madness only grows stronger, echoing across the battlefield like an unstoppable storm.